Much for tuning into the replay. If you have questions about this broadcast or anything else from CreativLEI, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those wonderful places, and at creatively.com where you can email me. Hello! So, good afternoon. I was going to say that this is going to be a quick scope, but I know myself better than to put on some time rules. Hi, Gwenny. Hello, Jenny. So I did want to come and check in. Hi, Angel. It's good to see you also. Hey, Kelly. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of an update. And I know, yeah, hello, finally. Thank you. These are some of my favorites. Hi, Liz. It's nice to meet you. So I'll do just a couple greetings. For those of you that might be here for the first time, my name is Lisa. I blog at CreativLEI.com, which is looking at life creatively. Hello, Lana. It's nice to meet you. I know that lots of you guys are new. There's been kind of a newish following from Love Your Lettering, and that is one of the reasons that I wanted to get on to kind of give you an update on what's going on there. Hi, Elizabeth. So last October, for those of you that have been here for a while, you know that we started getting to know each other really well in October when I did 31 days to Love Your Lettering. And it was wonderful. It was absolutely fun. It was something that I kind of did by the seat of my pants. It was quite an adventure. But lots of you got to know me that way, and I enjoyed getting to know you as well. And then things got all sorts of crazy because my husband and I decided, thank you, that we were going to put our house up on the market because we found our dream home that we would like to move to, but we can't buy that one until we sell this one. So in November, everything just kind of tailspin. Hello, Charlene. So things got a little bit crazy, and then I noticed that in January, lots of new people started following the lettering challenge, the 31 days of lettering for the handwriting and creative lettering. It was a New Year's resolution for many people, including Crystal Payne of Money Saving Mom. And so I started getting lots of new people to follow. But there I was thinking, like, okay, well, this was October's series, and so I must need to come out with something new. But I realized that those of you that are just going through the lettering series now, like Stacy of Humorous Homemaking, she has been doing the lettering and sharing it all over Instagram and on Periscope too. And so lots of you are brand new to creative lettering, or even just to improving your handwriting. And so while all the posts are on the blog and the videos are there from this past October, which is all fine and good, hi Joy, and I'm assuming it's Joy, sorry, but it's just not the same. Those that were with me through October know that a lot of the fun of that series was getting together nightly to kind of go through the demonstrations and answer questions live. That is kind of the beauty of Periscope, which happens to be like my favorite place on the internet, just because this interaction is awesome. You need to see them chin hair M's. Yes, for those of you that are new and wondering what Love Your Lettering is, it was a 31-day series at CreativLEI.com. If you go to CreativLEI.com/Love Your Lettering, it will bring you to an introduction post that kind of brings you to the the series index, which has all the links to those posts. But I know that you guys would really benefit from me getting on live each night. But I can't commit to doing that 12 months out of the year. You guys would get completely bored with me, and that wouldn't be fun. So I got to thinking, and I posted this yesterday on Instagram and on my Facebook page, and it seems like a lot of you thought it might be a good idea too. I thought that I would choose, 4 months out of the year that have 31 days, so once a quarter, and that we would go through the live demonstration. I act like I have kids. I do, just a few, right? I am a mom of 7. There are 6 children growing up in our home. So it's a little bit of chaos, and like right now only 3 of them are home, 3 of them are in public school, so it's a little bit quiet because they're eating lunch upstairs. So yeah, no, I know I'm a little sarcastic too. I try not to be. It's been fun. the messages that I get from people saying that I am really a voice of calm, it cracks me up, because anyone that lives in this house will tell you that I am not the voice of calm. I'm the voice of crazy and chaos. And so it's a little nuts. You've read my story. Why, thank you. And so that was one of the other things I wanted to chat about, was kind of looking towards new direction on my blog. My hand is not tattooed. Actually, it is henna, and I don't, let me see. Thank you. I hope so. I am definitely a better teacher to adult women than I am to my own children. I will say that. So there. I guess that would make more sense. Is my henna. This one, there should be a picture up on Instagram. It says, "Until all are free." And actually, I think today is to end human slavery, and so it kind of gets related to that too. But mostly I did it as kind of a response for international justice missions who look to rescue bonded workers around the globe. And so that's what this batch of henna was. I change it up kind of frequently. Thank you. I change it up kind of frequently. It's one of the types of art that I've really started to enjoy this past year. I get to incorporate both doodling and lettering all in one, and it gives me a great opportunity to talk to people, because it does kind of catch their eye, and so it gives me an opportunity to talk and tell my story and be able to represent other stories as well, like I am doing for IJM, which has been wonderful. It depends. This one has been on a little over a week. It depends on how well I take care of it and how long I leave the paste on. So usually between 1 and 2 weeks, depending on how much my hands are in water and cleaning and things like that. Because what it does is it stains just the top layer of skin. So as your skin exfoliates, the stain will start to fade. So that's kind of a little bit about henna. I'm very new to henna art. I've been an admirer of it for very long, but I've not done it until this past summer on myself. Does it just fade, or no, it happens it fades a little bit on its own, and then mostly it's from exfoliation that it'll start to fade. So I don't know if you got to see the opening screen when I started Periscope, but I kind of showed my mind map about where I feel the direction of the blog is going. Instagram has always been one of my favorite places to be, because it's just a quick way to kind of share glimpses of the day, and I've never really curated my Instagram, because I'm a huge believer in authenticity and sharing what life is really like. And so my Instagram has just been kind of a scattered glimpse of all the different things that we do. And when my blog first started 10 years ago, that was really just an online journal. But now I understand more about how to use that platform, and my understanding of making sure that it's a place of value to you. And it's not just about me telling my story, but it's about how my story relates to you. And so, this past year has been kind of crazy for me and coming into kind of my own. I feel like I'm finally adulting, as much as one can adult by choice, but kind of getting together all these little bits and pieces of who God has made me and how to share that with you in a way that helps and blesses you and how you grow and your family. And so Love Your Lettering was just this incredible opportunity to grow in a way that I never expected. I have done handwriting and calligraphy since I was in junior high school, and that's a while ago. And so to turn around this fall and to start to teach others was really very much a blessing to me. I am not Moroccan. I am actually Italian American and Irish. Yeah, I do. I love the art of henna. I think it's just beautiful, both artistically and looking into it culturally and historically has been fun for me to find out more information. And so, as we've come kind of a few months away from the live series of Love Your Lettering, I've really tried to reflect on what that meant as far as what I do in the future. And those of you that have seen my studio or my art journals, you know that lettering is a portion of what I do. I do Bible journaling, I paint, I do fiber arts, all types of things, and I don't want to have an art blog, because I know that if I just do my art, then I know that a lot of you are going to look at it and go, well, that doesn't pertain to me because I'm not creative, I don't know how to draw, I don't know how to paint, I don't know how to do calligraphy, and you guys will walk away. And that's not what I want, because what I want to be able to do is to communicate how you can find the things that you are really good at and are really passionate about, that are kind of outside the box of creativity and thinking like, well, I'm not an artist. Well, you know what? We're not all artists, but we all have this little bit of desire for beauty and creativity. And so I just want to help you kind of tap into that. And so that's why, like, Love Your Lettering was not just about love Lisa's lettering. It was about love your lettering, because I truly believe that your handwriting is part of you and it's part of your legacy, and that I can give you techniques of how to improve it, but I don't want you to write like me. I want you to write like you in the most beautiful way that you can. And so that's kind of where I'm going with the blog. I think a lot of things need to change, because previously I've always held on to the fact that I was like a nicheless blogger, just kind of lifestyle, and it's always been like looking at life creatively is life through the eyes of an artist and looking at things from outside the box. So that's kind of like big thinking. Yes, handwriting and scrapbooks. I used to do that all the time. And now, like with Bible journaling becoming so popular, thank you, Stacy. But there's lots of people that don't want to write in their Bibles because they're afraid that their handwriting is sloppy. But I really want to encourage people to use their handwriting, because I know for me, like, the greatest things that I had as kind of things I wanted to hold on to from my grandmothers was pieces that were written in their writing, because, and I've mentioned this through the Love Your Lettering series, I can look at my natural handwriting and I can see all these little characteristics that are related to both of my grandmothers and then to my mom and my dad. And it's little, like, my handwriting doesn't look like theirs, but I can see like, oh, I make an E like she did, or I make my capital F the way he did. So I want you to not abandon your own handwriting. I want you to just learn to love it. I really do. So that's kind of a portion of it. So I'm definitely not like a only blog this, only blog that, because that's not the way my life is. My life, I think, as both a woman and kind of a creatively bent one, is that everything kind of goes together. You love hand lettering, and you're thankful that you can learn to make things beautiful. I love that you guys are just embracing it and taking the chance, because I know there's lots of you, Stacy included, who in the beginning said, I'm not artistic, I'm only going to trace, and I'll just do that. And as you kind of let go of that bit of perfection, and I understand, because I am a struggling perfectionist also, but we start to find the ways that we can make it our own. And so that's where I am, and wanting to kind of encourage you for that. You're not just tracing now. I know that you are creating also. It is hard to let go. And I will tell you, I'm my own worst enemy. I will do things kind of 100 times over before I get the one that I like. And you guys have seen my desk before, and how many times I will do a piece, and I won't put my signature on it until I am completely, like, at least 95% satisfied with it. I am almost never 100% satisfied, and I've kind of let that go. But in order to put my signature on a piece of my work, I really do need to be very satisfied with it, and I just want to help you guys get to that point. It is nice to receive hand lettering. Thank you. I don't get to live very much in my comfort zone. I was talking to my husband yesterday about or maybe it was this morning, we were in this whole house buying process, and we're under contract on the house that we hope to buy, and we're just trying to sell our house. And we have a second showing this evening that is someone who came earlier in the week. So we're really, really hopeful. But we were talking about how that kind of is going. And it's not been a smooth ride for us. The contract on the house we're purchasing was accepted super fast, like crazy mind-blowing fast. And we had contingencies and all that kind of stuff. And it's been wonderful. We've met the owners of that house, and they like us. They know that our family, greatly desires to be there. And so they're kind of waiting for us. But we have to sell this house, and that has been nothing but ups and downs. Like, we had a contract, then we didn't have a contract. Now we're back on the market, then we weren't on the market. And so it's been kind of crazy. And so that, we very rarely get to live in a comfort zone. So we kind of just do it. We just move forward and kind of embrace it in the kind of chaos that it is, and just kind of learn to live through it. And so that's all of kind of what I write about, what I share, what affects my art, things like that, because it's kind of all blended together. I don't get to separate it. That's why when I write about art, I don't want to just write about art, because I still have to make dinner, I still have to do laundry, I still have to raise my children, that type of thing. So when you come to looking at life creatively, it's a little bit of all that stuff, because it's just life from my perspective. And hopefully some of you can relate to some of that chaos. I think that each of us, we live it kind of differently. None of us are carbon copies of each other, thank God. But we can glean from each other. Like, I know that I look to friends that have smaller families and more organized living, because there are things that I can take away from there. I like to have both older and younger women friends, and it's just kind of the way all that stuff comes together. So thinking about 4 different types of categories, but they're really kind of loosey-goosey because they relate to each other. So it's going to be family, which would incorporate like our children, routines, our home, recipes and traditions. Make it yourself, which would be kind of craft and art tutorial, and Love Your Lettering would fall under that category. Messy Faith will talk about my Bible journaling, which is also related to the art stuff, but it will also incorporate my journey of grief as a bereaved mom, and infant loss, and that kind of ties into family also, because they're all just kind of related, and kind of looking at faith. I am a Christian, but I am an out-of-the-box Christian. I find that I have a hard time finding people that truly are like-minded. I am definitely of a moderate persuasion, but I'm really passionate about Christ. And so I look at faith from that perspective. I think that my religion doesn't look like a lot of people's, but I have a very strong faith in Christ. I have the promise of eternity, and I like sharing that. And then the other category that I'm thinking is just between friends, and it's kind of like chatting like this, and the types of things that I would talk to you over a cup of coffee. So kind of mom and woman stuff related. And because I have found that, and I know this sounds crazy coming out through Periscope because we're not seeing each other face to face, but I will tell you that relationships that have started for me through Periscope or have gotten stronger through Periscope have been amazing. And I know as an adult woman, I crave real friendship, but I feel like I didn't really get instruction on how to be a friend and how to look for friends. And so that's been kind of a hard thing for me. And now I have daughters that I'm raising, and one of them is a preteen, and she's getting into that phase where growing friendships is becoming very clearly a difficult thing. And I feel ill-equipped to teach her, because I feel like I'm still learning. I'm the oldest of 7 children, and 6 of us were girls, so we didn't have a lot of girlfriends because we had each other as sisters. and we had a lot of conflict with other girls. And so I want to teach my girls now about how to relate to each other, how to encourage each other, and build each other up. Because as an adult woman, it's kind of hard to start from the ground up making friends. So that's kind of the all over the place thinking that's been going on. I did a guide page of lettering for Stone Soup for Five's Gospel of John study that comes out this Saturday. It is hard to find very good women friends, and finding the older women and the younger women, I think, is the difficult thing. I've got someone ready for dance, but it's a couple hours away. It's just hard to kind of open up in a way that allows us to relate to each other. One way on here to interact is to interact while you speak. Yeah, and that's been the fun thing about meeting other people in the chat groups of other Periscopes and then responding back. And it's like I've told you guys before, the longer breaks I take for Periscope, the harder it is for me to keep that engaged interaction, because it takes a lot to like get all the thoughts that I've kind of scribbled out to talk, but then I want to chat with you guys because I miss chatting with you, and that's why I need to Periscope nightly. So that gets back to why we're doing Love Your Lettering again. And so back to Love Your Lettering, rein in the squirrel. What I'm thinking, because the posts are already written and all that basic information is already on the blog, I think we're going to do 2 Periscopes a day for March that focus on the lettering. I'm going to do an afternoon. Yes, well, I think I'm in the older women group now. I used to not be, but I'm in the tail end of 30s, and so I am now one of the older women. And yes, I still need the women older than me too. Yeah, it is very hard. I agree, Elisa, finding people that get me. I have very few people locally that get me. But I am very blessed with other women that I've connected to online. I know it's not that much older, but sometimes it feels like it, or at least my teenage son tells me that I am. So, Love Your Lettering for March. Sorry, trying to stay somewhat focused. Love Your Lettering in March. We're going to go twice a day. I have heard that, yeah, we can all be friends. I have heard some feedback, which I thought was great. People were wondering if I could do the lettering tutorials that are less chatty for those that are kind of crunched for time. And I think that is awesome. I want to be able to do that. So, if we do a afternoon and a nighttime scope, because I like it better at night because it's a little quieter here when children are asleep. The afternoon scope, I think I'm going to take encouragement from Stacy, who is trying to move into the landscape world of Periscope so that she can repurpose for YouTube. I think my afternoon scopes will be in landscape. That way I can take that chunk of instruction that is less chatty and put that over to YouTube for those that don't want to sift through the chat of the demonstrations, but just want to see the instruction of and see the instruction of the lettering daily assignment, if that makes sense. So it's going to definitely be landscape. Just means that we're turned the other way so that you'll get more of the display, but it's also the default viewing of YouTube. So I know I can just repurpose these and I can put up a frame or something like that, but I am not skilled on YouTube at all. I can basically just upload this video to YouTube. That is my YouTube skills. So in order to make it somewhat useful, I think what we'll do is try to get that afternoon session as more of the instructional, and then the more chatty in the evening after children are in bed and I can concentrate more on chatting with you guys. So hopefully that sounds good. I love this group of ladies. You guys are awesome. Sorry, I'm looking at the clock. Those of you who are not familiar with the layout of my desk, there is a clock facing me, and so that's when I look up. What time am I thinking to do both? Well, definitely sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. will be that evening session, nighttime session, Eastern time. I live in Eastern Stacy time as well. And then the afternoon one, probably around 2-ish, I think. I have to take kind of an average of when we're around. We have a couple girls that it is a thing. A couple of our girls are in dance, and that's in the afternoon. And then things are still a little up in the air with the house, so and I want to make sure that I am avoiding Stacy's time block and Tabitha's time block, because those are two scoopers that I like to watch in the afternoon. So Tabitha goes on. I am late night Lisa. I need to kind of come out of the late night a little bit. I am Eastern Standard Time, so it is 5 minutes after 2 here. So I think what I'll probably aim to do is probably 2 in the afternoon and then 10 p.m. at night, or maybe 9:30, because I think sometimes 10 p.m. seems to feel like a lot. When I'm like getting ready for the 10 o'clock, it seems fine, and then 10 o'clock hits and I'm like, I just want to take a nap. I want to go to sleep, which I hardly ever go to sleep early, but it is what it is. So I think starting March 1st, we're going to aim for 2 p.m. and maybe, let's say 9:30, and we'll work it out. Yeah, 10 p.m. sometimes feels like midnight for me. So I think that I'm writing that down so that I remember. But my aim for starting March 1st would be 2 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. And so the only time that usually will switch is if I know I try not to go on at the same time of other Periscopers and bloggers that I'm connected with. So Amy over at Mommy Scopes, when she does the mom hop, sometimes that will rearrange the evening scope for me. Because I don't want you guys to have to choose between. If I can be flexible, I'll try to be flexible. So, and I'll put this up on the blog, and I'll probably send out a newsletter. Yeah, twice a day for March. How's that sound? Of course, if the house sells and I have to move in March, stay tuned, because then it will just be more kinds of chaos. Yeah, I do use Catch. Catch.me/CreativLEI has everything, and I've went on there last week and tried. Yeah, I know, we would all rejoice. I cannot wait to move. Yeah, so I've tried to do some break out the collections on Catch, so that if you want to just look at past lettering scopes or past mom hops and stuff like that, you can find it that way. And then I guess I might embed we'll see how it goes. I think March will be a little bit of a learning for me, now that I don't have to write the content because the lettering instruction is there. We'll kind of play with the video aspect. That way I can see what I can upload to YouTube for those that want to see the how-to videos on there. And someone suggested going through the whole assignment, whatever the daily, those of you that have kind of peeked over at Love Your Lettering already, some people wanted to see me do the whole assignment for the day on video. So I'm going to have to play with my tripod setup and figure that out. I am starting over at the beginning for the newbies. Thank you. Are you Sherry, or you can let me know your first name? I try to learn names, and I'm awful with names, but with more repeating, I start to pick them up. Yes, Sherry, good. Yes, so in March, we're going to run through 31 Days to Love Your Lettering over again. I probably will not juggle to make the weekends match up. I don't know. We'll see. I have to look at it and see how much sense that makes. Because when I wrote it in that October, we had weekends for catch-up time. So, and of course, the days are not going to line up in March, but it'll be all right. So for the month of March, we're going through it again. And hopefully by the end of March, for those of you that have been looking for an ebook of the guide sheets, hopefully that will be out before the end of To For those of you that are wondering about supplies, thank you, Sherry, for mentioning. There is a suggestion of like a big long list of things. However, I will tell you, don't let the supply list scare you away. And if it's not in the budget, do not buy any new things. I do recommend graph paper because I find that is very good when you're learning spacing and when you're going back to the foundation of handwriting also to get that grid paper because it helps you with spacing between letters and opening up your bowls and making straight stems. And we talk about letter anatomy in this 31 days also. So if you can get graph paper, I know, yeah, don't break your budget for it. I will tell you, you don't need to. You will want more pens by the time you're through the lettering course, and sorry, not sorry about that. Pen snobs and pen addicts, we kind of like enable each other in that way. But you can go through the lettering course with just a notebook or graph paper. Yeah, you will want all the pens. And a favorite pencil or pen. Start with that. And then when we talk about, it depends. I use the fine liners in the beginning, and then each week we go over a different pen type. Like one week we did broad nib calligraphy markers, and but if you don't have a calligraphy marker, I show you how to tape two pencils together so that you can still practice the angles of the broad tip. And then the week after that we do brush lettering, but if you can't get a brush pen into your budget right now, that's okay, because you can practice that style with a pencil, a soft lead pencil, because brush lettering is all about pressure, and pencils show you pressure really good. So you literally can start 31 Days to Love Your Lettering with just a notebook and a pencil. And then if your budget frees up a little bit, and you can add a couple pens throughout the series, or as we go through the series, if you find a lettering style that just you really love, then you can invest in that, one pen at a time. Because I will tell you that my 53 million pens that I have, I did not buy all in 1 month. We're talking decades of craft supply stashing. So please don't break your budget, not for this. Calligraphy pens, best place to buy. It depends on what you want. For starting out, I love the Pilot Parallel pen because it is a little bit more forgiving than a dip pen for broad nib calligraphy. But even more than that, you can go with a calligraphy marker, which you can find at Target or Michael's. And that's great because whether you push or pull the pen, it kind of gives you some freedom there. It just does not get the very, very fine hairlines because it's usually a felt tip. But the parallel pens are awesome. I've demonstrated those before. They're probably still on video, and they're definitely in the 31 Days series. But there's lots. And always, like, if you have a pen question, shoot me a message, because chances are I have either tried the pen before or already have it in my stash, and I can demo it for you, tell you good, bad, and ugly. Used to do calligraphy in high school and have no idea what happened to your pens. I actually still have my nibs and barrels from high school calligraphy. Yes, Staedtler pens are great. The Staedtler calligraphy markers are the first calligraphy markers I ever used, and then I moved to Speedball nibs for formal calligraphy. But there's lots of things out there now, and you can get most things fairly budget-ish friendly if you spread it out. But yeah, the nibs and things, I do not do dip pen instruction in the 31 Days to Love Your Lettering because it's just an introductory course, and it's basically about getting like a quick overview of all the different things that are available to you. And we'll kind of, throughout the year, we'll probably do different mini-series for other lettering or going deeper into lettering or calligraphy. We'll get that figured out. So yeah, are there any other questions for me? I'm going to try to wind it down. We have a showing today at 4, so I need to make sure that the house is all ready, and although it is pretty much ready because we had a showing from 12 to 1 also. So that's why I was like, oh, let me hop on Periscope before we have to go back out. Thank you, Sherry. We're hoping that this is it because we are ready to be done selling the house. It's been more than a little crazy. Oh, for those of you that don't know, I am left-handed, so my instruction is given with my left hand. However, I am actually right hand dominant. I just don't write with my right hand, but I do know how to properly hold the pen in my right hand. So I do try to flip back and forth so that I can show you proper pen holding. But most of my tips will be best if you're left-handed, because we require all sorts of extra help especially with the brush lettering. So yeah, inky hands. These are not ink, this is henna. But yeah, so I'm a lefty. I can show you how to hold the pen properly and write, and I have actually been practicing a lot writing with my right hand so that hopefully you can read what I write when I demonstrate with it. But no, I'm tried and true lefty when it comes to writing, so just so that you guys know. But hopefully the techniques can be used whether you're left-handed or right-handed, but all my pen feedback is usually from the perspective of being lefty because we have a harder time finding great pens. So that's about all I have for now. I'll give just another minute or so in case anybody had any questions. If you're looking for me elsewhere, I am at CreativLEI on Instagram and Twitter, as well as here on Periscope. Facebook/CreativLEI, Facebook.com/CreativLEI. Yeah, it's not as neat. Let me see if I can find one other thing. Let's see. See that word right there? That was with my right hand. And here, lefty goes right. So I'm trying to practice. What pen do you need to start? Any fine liner or pencil, actually. I have the Kuretake Zig. Stacy is Humor Homemaking here on Periscope, and if you're not following her, you want to be, because homemaking and raising a family should not be looked at very seriously. If you cannot laugh during that, you will not make it through. And so I would highly encourage you to find Stacy. I don't know if she's still here. She might have to go take after. Oh, there she is. You are not a hot mess. You just keep it real. And I think that that's what we need. We need more women keeping it real. And keeping it real does not mean airing dirty laundry or kind of reveling in the mud puddle, but it just means giving a glimpse into how to get out of the mud puddle, if that makes sense. And so that's why, like, I connect with Stacy, and I connect with a lot of other women who are willing to keep it real without being, if we air the dirty laundry, we have to wash it. Yeah, I wish it worked that way. I have too many older boys to know that that doesn't work. You got to wash the dirty laundry. Yeah. So for like anybody that's been following, my oldest made honor roll for the second quarter in a row after 6 years of homeschooling. So this is like big stuff for us. And his grandparents gifted him an old iPhone. So my son now has like connection, and he's been texting me, and he's on Twitter now. So this is like whole new ball game into parenthood, is, you know, being on social media with my oldest child. And I will tell you, it is fun. Those that say to fear the teen years, don't fear it, just embrace it. Understand that it's chaos and that you're kind of growing up with them, but it's been a blast. I actually am really enjoying this part of the ride. Thank you, Tina. So yeah, I'm not ready either. Like, I don't know how I have teenage children because I'm only 25, or at least I feel like it most days until I see all the gray and the sore bones. So yeah, we're having fun. So that's what's going on around here. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I got definitely a little squirrely, but that's what happens when I've been off Periscope for a while. Hi, Heather. But I'm going to go have some lunch. Tell me about the circle for monitoring electronic usage. Okay, yeah, send me a message about that. We actually have a new product coming, I think next month or so. It's called Luma, and it's supposed to help help with our internet signal, but then it also allows us monitoring so we can see any device that's connected to our internet. We can see everything, any place that they've been, what they're doing, type of thing, because we were not really finding anything that we liked before. So we're going to test out this new thing, and I will definitely let you know how it goes, because I know that there are lots of people that are probably in the same boat as us, where we're not necessarily trying to shelter our children from the world. What we're trying to do is help them navigate it. And that doesn't mean making everything out of bounds, but it means that we control their exposure and give them kind of protected exposure while they're still in our home, because I am not waiting until my children are 18 to turn them out into the world and let them fend for themselves. Disney product monitor. Interesting. I will have a look at that. Mama Bear. I'm writing that down too. So yeah, we're kind of going through the motions, and I'll share. That's why I laugh when I see like strictly parenting blogs and like they have all children under 5, and I'm like, interesting. I have, teenage children all the way down to a toddler. And by no means do I know everything as it refers to parenting. In fact, fairly recently I had to apologize to my mom for being so critical of how she was parenting my youngest sibling when I was growing up, because I thought I knew it all. I so didn't. Yeah, my oldest is 14 and a half, and my youngest turns 3 in 2 weeks. So we've kind of got that wide range of ages, and they're all fairly close together. So it's like, one turned teen, and then the other one was less than 2 years behind him. So this year we'll have 2 teenagers, 1 preteen girl. I had 5 other sisters. I don't know how my parents survived, because the girl stuff is a lot. I think I was less ready for the girls to grow up than I was for the boys to grow up, because hormones. And I'll just leave it at that. I wasn't ready. There's a reason why I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. Now I'm raising girls. So anyway, girl drama is worse, right? It is. Your 25-year-old is still a preteen. Oh, thank you, Sherry. It's life is fun. It definitely is. So that's a little bit about me. For those of you that were new, you probably saw more than you were even interested in. All you wanted was the lettering, right? Sorry, you got to deal with story too. Boys are, it's funny. I think the boys and the girls, it kind of bounces back and forth. They go through these phases where, they're just different. I don't think that either of them are easier. It's just like what I'm ready to endure for that season changes. So thankfully God brings me through it all. So, and I can still talk about it and mostly laugh about it, because it is pretty funny. So I need to go have lunch, I need to go have coffee, and I need to make sure that my 3-year-old has not torn apart the house. That needs to be ready for a showing at 4. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you were here on the replay, you are a trooper for hanging in. Those of you that stayed here live for the whole time, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And I look forward to connecting with you guys more and more, and seeing you back in March for Love Your Lettering Take 2. And so we're going to try and figure out how to get those tutorials really helpful for you guys. So thanks so much. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.